Hello everyone. Very good evening. This is me, Abhilasha, your favorite VRC mentor, back again, live with you for yet another session of Ask Me Anything. Last time we did a session with students from SIBM who had told us a lot of things about symbiosis at the SIBM Institute. And today I have with me two guests from a very unusual school that again belongs to the symbiosis family. This one is called the Symbiosis School for Sports Sciences. We'll be talking to them. We'll find out a little bit more about them, how they got into this entire spectrum. What is it that drives them? What is their college all about? What is the specialization? And of course, you can ask them as many questions as you want to, as and when. All right. So wonderful. Now that I've seen that we are live, great, good to go. Let me now introduce my two very smart, handsome, very dynamic guests to you. So we'll begin with the, okay, feminism aside, we'll still begin with the girls. So Bhagyashree Nata, welcome. Rudra Mukund, welcome to Ask Me Anything. We are doing the Symbiosis Sports Sciences Institute version. And tell us a little bit about yourself. Bhagyashree, we'll start off with you.
Firstly, ma'am, thank you so much for inviting us and having us here. To talk about myself, I'm based out of Calcutta and I'm currently doing my MBA in Sports Management from Symbiosis School of Sports Sciences. I'm currently in my second year, and I did my undergraduate in BBA in Finance from St. Xavier's College in Kolkata itself, and I finished that last year. And I also run a sports facility of my own in Kolkata.
That's really interesting. A sports facility of your own and in Kolkata. We'll talk a little bit more about this. I want to explore this thing with you a little more. But before I do that, let's get an introduction of Rudra and then we will carry on with more questions. I have lots to ask you guys. Rudra, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
It is a pleasure to be here. Firstly, thank you very much for having us with you all today. And a brief about me: I am based out of Hyderabad, born and brought up here. I am also pursuing my MBA in Sports Management from Symbiosis School of Sports Sciences, and I am in my final year of college, in my second year, and I have a company of my own. We are into sports events in Hyderabad, and post the lockdown, we have also got the stream of health and wellness. So I mean, we conduct fitness classes online for individuals all across the globe. So that's what has kept me occupied, and that's a brief about me.
That's wonderful. You guys are already into so much. Bhagyashree is running her sports academy. You're into sports event. Tell me, what drove you into all of this sports thing? Why the sports management? Why the MBA in sports management? What brought you to Symbiosis? Tell us a little bit about that journey. Bhagyashree, we'll start with you.
So, ma'am, I've played sports all my life, and I've had that drive in myself, and I've had that passion. And during my undergrad, I got the opportunity to play state level basketball and also football at the university level. So that's where the love for sports comes in, and that's when I realized that I wanted to make a career in sports. Maybe I can't make it big on the field, but I wanted to do something related to sport. And I spoke to a few seniors from Symbiosis School of Sports Sciences itself, and they told me about the course that they have here. They told me what they do. They told me the curriculum, and that's what cultivated a lot of interest in me, and that's what drove me, and that's what got me here to Symbiosis School of Sports Sciences.
Rudra, what brought you to Symbiosis?
To be very honest, the answer is very easy. It is my passion towards sports, and to have a chance to contribute to the industry is something I always wanted to have. And back in 2000, I was going through various websites in order to probably pursue my MBA from a good B school. And while I was doing that, I realized that if there is something I want to do, where even if I have to work for 20 hours a day, I must love what I'm doing. And when I gave it a thought, I realized that why not sports? Let me look into it and understand the field. That's when I realized that I understood that there's a course in symbiosis. Getting a brand name like Symbiosis itself, I realized that they offer a program which gives you an MBA. So I said, let me research about this. And once I started to research about it, I clearly understood that this is what I'm meant to do, and that's how the journey began.
Wonderful. That's so interesting and so intriguing. What is this the entrance process for the Symbiosis School for Sports Sciences?
So, ma'am, just like any other B school, there is an aptitude test that you need to take. And for Symbiosis colleges, it's SNAP. It usually happens in December, but I think this year onwards, it's going to happen twice every year in December and January. And they've also changed the pattern of SNAP a little bit. I think it's been reduced to only 1 hour now. So that, and then we have the GEPWAT, which is the group exercise, the personal interview, and the written ability test. So for Symbiosis School of Sports Sciences, because it's such a unique course, and it's about sports management. They don't really look at your SNAP score as a criteria, but it has 50% weightage, while the most of the weightage really goes to your GEPWAT and what kind of attitude you showcase, what you really bring to the table, how you perform in your GEPWAT is what really decides whether or not you get into the institute. So that's the entire selection procedure for Symbiosis School of Sports Sciences.
Okay. So what is the is there a specific eligibility in terms of sports that you have to have, or is it just the kind of aptitude you would show in an interview that is important for getting in?
I believe it is your aptitude. It is, they look at how inclined you are towards sports, and how much do you want to contribute towards the industry. Because when they look at students coming in, they do not look at you as students who are coming to play sport in an institute. They believe that you need to have the right attitude in order to be sports managers in the country. So a lot of importance is given to the attitude of a student, and I agree with Bhagishri. She specified about it too, because they do look at scores, but a lot of importance is given to your personal interview, where they see your conduct and they see if you're a good fit in the industry.
Okay. So, Mike, why I'm asking you this is because there are so many students who have not played much of sports, but who would still be interested in getting into, an MBA in sports management. So, would it make sense for them to be doing a course like this, or wouldn't it? So that was my question, and that's why I asked you this question.
Absolutely, 100%. We have a lot of students who have never played a single sport, and they have come out as top students in the market. So it has nothing to do with the sports you've played. It completely depends on your understanding about the industry, and the kind of passion you bring into the industry.
What is the curriculum at your school like? What is it that you guys have to study? How is it different from a regular MBA,
So, ma'am, to talk about the curriculum, I think the best part about the MBA is that even though it's an MBA in sports management, they focus on everything that other MBA programs also teach us. So, they have a mixture of what is taught in other MBA programs and sports. What I mean is, we have subjects like economics, financial management, financial accounting, consumer behavior, marketing, etc. And along with that, we have a lot of sports specific subjects like sports analytics, sports events, sports marketing, legal aspects of sports, sponsorships, and sale. So it is a mixture of a normal general MBA and with a touch of sports into it. And they don't just focus on these things, but we also have a lot of value added courses. We are taught, there is a subject called business communications. So the way we communicate, the way we write our emails, the way we communicate in a corporate in our corporate life. So that again is a very important aspect, and they give due they give it that importance in our college as well. And with that, we have an extra course of foreign language and advanced Excel.
Yeah, just to add on to Bhagyashree, they've structured the course beautifully. They've never made us feel like we're only concentrating on sports management. They've all, I mean, they've ensured that the students, are MBA ready. So, when you get into the market, you're no different from the others. The only added advantage is that you have a specialization in sports.
So your sports subjects, do they start in the second year, or do they start from the first year itself, or is it that you have to wait for a certain time before you start the sports subjects, or does it continue?
It begins in the first year itself, but in the first year there is a lot of importance that is given to core subjects, because we have students that come from various fields. So now you have commerce grads that come in, you have people who have done their arts in college, you have engineers, a large percentage of engineers come into our college. So they ensure that they bridge the gap between students, and that's precisely why I said the course is beautifully structured. And so that's why they get into the basics of accounting, basics of marketing. They make sure that all the students are at the same level in the first year itself, in order to understand the core subjects in the second year. So a lot of introductory courses are given importance in the first year.
And then when you go into your second year, how do you choose your specialization? As in, what subjects do you have to take? Do you have two specializations? Is it a minor, major thing, or is it just one? What is it?
So, ma'am, the specialization is what we choose at the beginning of our third semester. So, we have three options for that. We can either choose sports events, sports analytics, or we can choose sports marketing. So, sports marketing mainly focuses at consumer behavior, how you can market and sell your product. The events aspect looks into, they teach you everything from ideation of an event to how you raise sponsorship for the event, and eventually how you go on to market it and the operations of the event. So that's what the sports event specialization looks at. And then we have sports analytics. So sports analytics is very interesting. They teach you a lot of different softwares like Tableau, R, and SPSS, where you can really understand, and you can interpret the data very well. And along with that, we have like our college has a tie-up with Catapult, which is where you get a lot of wearable devices. It's a technology through which you can understand, and you can get a lot of data, and they get a first-hand experience of using those wearables, using the technology, and how you can eventually go on to implement it.
That's very interesting. So I'm finding so many interesting things about your college that मुझे मन कर रहा है मुझे भी कर लेना चाहिए था एक बार. Though now I'm too old to be thinking about it, but it sounds very exciting, and surely I will also, when my son goes into that age, then I will consider this as one of the lovely options. My son is a great footballer, and he's very keen into sports, so this could be such a lovely option for anyone who's that way is inclined and wants to continue. So that is wonderful. Anyway, so tell me a little bit about your experience at college. How has it been these 2 years? What was the difference between last year and this year? Because last year, of course, I'm sure you were on campus, and this year you're off campus. So what is the difference? How has life post-COVID been for you guys in studying? Tell me a little bit about that.
To be very honest with you, it gives me goosebumps to talk about the college itself. You can imagine a college that is spread over 350 acres. You can imagine, the natural scenic beauty that is attached to it. The kind of facilities that we get in the institute is outstanding. So we are genuinely missing all of that. And the infrastructure in this campus is beautiful. So I've always believed that if you're doing an MBA, besides obviously your placements after that, it's important for students to have a good college life. And Symbiosis has probably given us the best college life we could have ever asked for. And if you talk about post COVID also, besides missing campus life, we have they have taken such good care of our academics, where the online classes have taken place so well, where they've not made us miss out on the academic part of it. Classes go on, and in this not so disciplined world, we've learned a lot of discipline because of the timings of the classes, and the way they've structured our classes from morning to evening. So even though everything is online, they've not made us feel like we are losing out on something. So hats off to the college, because they put in a lot of effort in ensuring that when the students are here in campus for 2 years, we give them the best, and everything that they deserve.
Bhagishri, what is your take on this thing?
Ma'am, absolutely. I think Rudra has beautifully summed it up. The campus is so beautiful. As he said that, it's the scenic beauty is, we're very fortunate to be in a campus like that. But again, even though it's post COVID now, I think the faculty, the management of the college is doing a beautiful job, and they're really ensuring that, we don't miss out on the important things. We're here to do an MBA, and there is a certain kind of discipline, as Rudra even mentioned, that comes along with it, that makes you ready for the industry eventually, that makes you ready to be able to work in a company eventually. So I think the college is doing a fantastic job inculcating that within us by by organizing everything as they used to. Even though it's an online platform, everything is done virtually now. Even then, there is a lot of discipline that's been inculcated within all of us, where we have to attend our classes on time, where we have to do our submissions. So everything, obviously, that campus life is being missed. But apart from that, they've actually handled everything very well.
That's wonderful. Kudos. But I think everywhere in India or across the world also, most of the colleges have or schools have been able to function very beautifully because of the teachers who are there. They're the backbone of this entire process. What about your teachers? Tell us a little bit about the faculty at your school. Where are they coming from? What are they like? Something interesting if you have to tell us about them. Share with us.
Uh, Yeah. So, ma'am, to talk about the faculty, I think we have a wide range of faculty. We have senior members in the industry to people who specialize in different verticals of sport management. One big example is Mr. Gaurav Sundaraman. He is an analyst at ESPN Cricinfo. So, he comes down to our campus for a week, and he takes classes with the students. He tells us, how is it that he analyzes data real time, with his clients. So that's a very interesting bit that we have. And then our industry connect, Mr. Siddharth Deshmukh, he is directly connected with MS Dhoni. So the kind of exposure that we get through our faculty itself is absolutely amazing. Another faculty is Mr. Akshat Iyengar, who is currently pursuing his PhD, and he again brings in a lot of practicality, and he's taught us a lot of interesting things about the sport industry, and how the sponsorships and everything go around it. So I think it's a very experienced the faculty is very experienced, and they all come from the industry, so they give us practical knowledge of what we would also be eventually doing in the industry.
Yeah, and the advantage also is the in-house faculty that we have. We have a director who is has more than 35 to 40 years of experience, and she has done her PhD in physical education. So you can imagine the kind of experience we have regarding the industry itself. When we have stalwarts like them with us, and even our in-house faculty that is there in the college, they have also done their PhD in sports. So it gives the students a very good understanding of the industry.
Amazing. Yeah, I feel very excited at hearing all of this about your campus. If nothing, then once the lockdown opens up, I'm definitely visiting the campus just to see what happens, all of the exciting things that are happening. We'll definitely, touch base and find out a little bit more about your campus. Anyway, tell me something. You guys also go for internships, and where and how, and tell us a little bit about that.
Yes.
Uh,
So our yes, Bhagishri, you want to take that?
Okay, so internships actually is again part of our summer internship program, where so every year after the first year, the students have to go for their summer internship program that they need to do for 2 months, and that again, gives the students like a practical experience of how it is going to be once they are out of this MBA college, and how the industry works. They get to know what they exactly need to do, and some of the people also get to know what they don't want to do once they're out of the college. So the kind of so this year we had students going to Kerala Blasters, Ogilvy and Mather, Engage Digital, Sports Interactives, and these different companies where you have to do a lot of digital marketing. You have to do a lot of content creation, advertising. So these were a few places that our students went. And we also have a lot of students in our college who are entrepreneurs themselves, and they worked on their own companies, and they did a lot of good work. And one great example would be Rudra right here, who immediately, so he has an events company, and he immediately switched to the digital medium when he understood that he could not host a lot of events, and he started online yoga fitness classes. And he also is now a mindset coach, and he posts a lot of motivational videos on his Instagram and social handles. So that's the summer internship program that we have.
That's interesting.
Thank you for
Rudra,
that,
tell us a
Bhagesh.
little bit about your this thing, your what all you're doing, how you have shifted to the online this thing. Just a little
A
bit.
lot has to do with the institute. I think, so I started an organization only after I joined this institute. And as Bhageshi mentioned about our industry connect, Mr. Siddharth Deshmukh, he is on a one-on-one with us all the time. And he was the one who probably motivated me and ensured that, I start something. And even when, I mean, post-COVID, as soon as the pandemic hit our country, I got in touch with him. I said, I want to do something. I do not want, to sit idle. And that's when he said, think of doing something and go digital. So I said, mindset training is something that is extremely important, because a lot of people do feel, depressed, or have, feel anxious because of, the situation in our country. So I said, let me get into that. And yoga and fitness, I believe that the fitness industry is here to stay. By 2025 we expect it to be a 2.5 billion dollar industry in the country. So it is a huge industry. And I said, a lot of people are at home. They aren't having access to the outside world. So why not try keeping them healthy and fit at home. So that's how the idea came in.
Wonderful. That sounds so nice and so interesting. Okay, so tell me one more thing. Now it's natural progression. Now that we've spoken of internships, what about jobs? What kind of jobs do you guys get into, and what kind of companies are coming to your campus? Have the batches been placed, or I'm not very sure of that, so I just want to know about that. What is the status?
So, ma'am, to talk about the jobs and the placements post the MBA program, a lot of students get roles in business development and marketing, because the industry is, filled with a lot of startups. So they really want students from our institute, who get in the corporate angle to it, and they get in, they can really help with the business development and the marketing aspect of it. Apart from that, there are a lot of companies who come up with roles in content writing, in digital marketing and advertising. And a lot of companies also look at data analysts. For example, we've had students going to Kerala Blasters, doing the analytics for the Kerala Blasters team. So that's the different kind of roles that we have. And another thing is sports events and operations is another area where students get a lot of opportunity, and they get to do the operations of an event, look into the marketing and sponsorship of the event. And the kind of companies that we've had on campus are like Sports Interactive. We've had Engage Digital on campus. We've had Kerala Blasters, and Fisto Sports, My Team 11. So these are a few companies to name, and they're all across different like various domains of sport only.
Yes, and the advantage is that even though you probably start with business development, marketing roles, once you're in the industry for about 2 to 3 years, there are a lot of students who get into athlete management where you manage athletes, and there are a lot of companies that manage a lot of athletes in our industry. So those are a lot of, I mean, those kind of jobs are done by a lot of students, and they also get to volunteer in various events throughout their stint with the college. So as soon as people join college in the month of June, we start giving them opportunities at the Pro Kabaddi League. Post that, our students have volunteered at the FIFA Under 17 World Cup, and then we also give them opportunities at ATP 250 Maharashtra Open, which is India's biggest tennis tournament. So there are plenty of opportunities that are given to students while they are also pursuing their course. So that's where we also ensure that whether you're a fresher or an experienced student, the bridge, the gap is filled with these kind of opportunities.
That's wonderful. That's like, it sounds so good. And with sports management is now certainly one thing that I am thinking of in a big way. That yes, this should be on. Somebody who's thinking of an MBA should also be thinking of this as a very interesting career. Earlier, I don't think sports management was so well structured and so systematic as I think probably Symbiosis has made it. Probably it's the flagship institute in India for sports management, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Yes, it is.
so that's a good thing. That's a very very interesting thing, and I'm finding it very exciting. I'm going to just be an evangelist and spread the word around and tell everyone how this is a great field to be getting in. But yeah, that sounds very very good. Acha, tell me one more thing. Is it that you need any experience, or can a fresher also join your college? Or is it that you're looking for some experience? Is there anything like that?
No, there's nothing of that sort. So if you talk of the current batch that is in the institute, we have 51% of the batch that has experience and 49% that are freshers. So it's kind of an equal ratio. And as I told you, even during the interview process, they're only looking for people who really want to make an impact in the industry. And even when freshers come in, they are given plenty of opportunities to volunteer and intern at various places, so so as to say, where their resume becomes much better after 1 year of being in the institute. So that's how we probably help them grow, and we bridge the gap between the freshers and the experienced students that we have.
So, do you guys also host some sport event while you're in college, or is there some? Does that happen?
So I think, ma'am, that's one of our favorite parts because we host a conference which is called the National Sports Science Conference, and we host that annually, where we have stalwarts coming from the industry, and they're sharing their knowledge of the industry in the various domains. We have someone from KPMG who tell us how they collect the data in sport and how they create annual reports, and they tell us how they're interpreting the data, and they're telling us about the industry with first-hand data that they have. Then we have people from the fitness and nutrition industry. So it's a culmination of different domains of the sport industry who come and they share their knowledge with us. So the best part about that is that it is completely being organized with the students of our college, by the students of our college. So we get experience in from guest management to how you do the overall, you conduct the event over, you get sponsorships, you do the operations, you manage the guests. So that is a very big learning experience for us personally. And those 3 days of the conference are probably our favorite days on campus.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, there are a couple of questions from the audience. I will quickly take them, and then we will keep talking about your course and other things. Okay, so there is a question from Athar. What will be the expected cutoff for your institute for SNAP?
So, Ma'am, as we mentioned earlier, there's no expected cutoff as such. You take the exam and you get called for your GE PWAT. And based on how you do in the group exercise and your PWAT, depending on that, they choose you. They're looking at the right attitude and not really the marks.
Yeah, and 50% weightage goes towards your snap score. What the institute does is they do not only judge you on your snap score. So what they do is there's an overall marking of 100 marks, where 50 marks is given to your snap score, and the other 50 is distributed among the written aptitude test, your group discussion, and your personal interview. So together they add these marks, and then they come to a final conclusion regarding the selected students.
Okay, just tell me a little bit about your snap experience and your pivot experience also. I want to know a little bit more about that, because obviously we are also into the entrance prep only. So we want to know a little bit more in detail about what you did. What is it that our students should be preparing? What should they, pay special attention to? All of that also.
So if I remember rightly, when it came to Snap, I knew the advantage with Snap is they allow you to concentrate on your forte. So I realized that quants is something that I am miserable at. So I concentrated on verbal ability. I concentrated on logical reasoning. So because of the exam, the way the exam pattern is, it helped me increase my score, because in verbal ability and logical reasoning I could maximize my marks. And even though I knew quant is my weakness, so that's how I handle Snap. Post that, the group exercise and the written aptitude test with the personal interview happens in the institute itself. So they called us in the month of February, and if I remember the dates rightly, it was the 15th, 16th, and 17th of Feb. And they made us have over there, where they saw how good our written ability is. They wanted to see if we know how to write well, because there's a lot of writing, as Bhagashri mentioned, there's a lot of content writing work that we get. So that's again, I mean, I'm stressing on this point on how well the institute has structured the course. Then they come to your group exercise with your personal interview, where they look at how good you are with your communication skills, because when you are a part of an industry like sports, there is a lot of networking that happens. You get a lot of jobs based on your network. And there's a famous saying that we have in our college, where your network is your net worth. We actually give a lot of importance to communication. So that's what is looked at even at the personal interview stage, where they just see if you can converse a certain point to an audience or not. So they obviously know you are nervous, they know you're scared, but if you have the ability to convey a certain point to them in the right manner, with the right attitude, then there's no reason as to why the college doesn't call you.
Bhagishri, tell us a
So,
little bit
to
about
actually
your
add,
interview experience also. We want to know that.
yeah. So I think it was pretty much how Rudra mentioned it, and he summed it up pretty well. But what I really liked about Symbiosis School of Sports Sciences was that when you're there for GE PWAT, and you are obviously nervous, right? You don't know, you're in a new place, and you are thinking as to what might happen in that room when you are with the interviewers. So what they do is they do a buddy system, where few students from our senior batch, from the senior batches, the two batches that are currently studying in the college, so they are there and they are guiding you through the process. So you have any kind of queries, you get the chance to directly speak to the student, and you interact with the student, and you understand how college is, and they really make you feel very comfortable that it's all right. We've also been through it, and it's okay to feel nervous, but then eventually once you're in the room, all you need to do is speak the truth, and you need to be you need to be yourself when you are there in the interview room. So that's one personal thing that I felt was really nice, the entire buddy system, which helped us feel very comfortable in that pressure environment.
Wonderful. Okay, so there was a question from Siddhesh. He said, what is the admission process? But we've already spoken about the admission process, Siddhesh. I hope you were able to hear us. Okay. Somebody has asked, Abhishek has asked, please tell us something about HR aspirants. Is it worth to join Symbiosis School of Sports Sciences. Abhishek, let me answer that. Beta, if you want to go for HR, then there are lots of other colleges. There is Symbiosis Center for Human Resource and Development. Go join that. Why would you want to join a school that is so specific for, sports management? However, that's it. I will leave it to you guys also to answer the question. Yeah. What do you say, Rudra? Should somebody
Yes, so
looking at HR think of joining your institute?
there is a possibility, but when you're looking at HR, you have to understand that the main reason for you to join the institute has to be sports, right? So post that you do get jobs as HRs of various sports companies, but again, you're not directly working in with the sports angle in mind. But having said that, we have students who show interest in human resources, and they do get opportunities in the field too. And why I'm saying this is it comes back to how I started, where I specified about how they are making you MBA ready. So what happens is, a lot of times it is but natural for individuals to understand different aspects of their life even after 2 years. So it is, there are possibilities where students understand that after a 2-year program, probably this is not what I want to do. So that's where again the structure of the course comes in, where they've structured it so well where you don't miss out on anything. So even when you go and probably apply to various organizations, you still are considered for any kind of role as long as you're good.
Okay, there's another question from Vidhi. What's the average CTC students are offered during placements? You want to take it, Bhagishri?
Yeah. So, ma'am, the average CTC that we get is somewhere around 5 to 6 lakhs per annum, and it's a niche industry, and there are companies which are startups, so that's the kind of placements that we get initially. However, what we've seen with our seniors, and with the alumni that we have, they start off with a package of say 5 6 initially, and eventually that goes on to increasing year by year. So the jump is much higher, once you work in a company for at least a year.
On that note, there are a lot of students who've gone for higher packages. Probably the top 10% of the batch also gets packages around the 9 to 10 lakhs range, where in previous batches there have been students who've been placed at 12 lakhs too. So at the end of the day, you get high packages at the higher end. But as Bhagishri said, most of it comes post working for 1 year in the industry. The kind of jump is tremendous. In any other industry, if it's 10%, then in this you see probably double or triple of that.
That's amazing. I think there are certain fields where once you start working, that's only when the real growth happens. And once that you start getting onto the fast track, then it just can zip up to anything. That
Absolutely.
happens in lots of industries, where especially your intimate knowledge of people then comes into play. So that, like you had said, Rudra, your network is your net worth, and I think that is what then starts working for you. So it's the people you collect in the 2 years that you're there, and then thereafter. And anyway, in any B school, they always say that the 3 batches that you interact with are your actual earnings in a B school. Your senior batch, your current batch, and of course your junior batch. That's your real earning, apart from everything else. So if that works, then yes, I think that in itself is very, very important, that whenever you're in a B school, you have to remember that. Not just look at the money, but also look at the other additionals which may not happen elsewhere, which may just happen here in your college. All right, so there's another question. I think I'll just take this one. So since Avantika says, since sports events and other aspects of the sports industry have taken a hit due to COVID, is this the right time to do an MBA in sports management? Okay, very relevant question.
Very
Because
nice
of course,
question. And I believe that the industry expects a boom in 3 to 4 years from now, and there is no better time to get into the industry. You see a lot of money flowing in from the foreign market already in our country, and with health and fitness also coming up in our country. You see a lot of scope for, and you see plenty of job openings coming up. So I mean, Avantika, 100% this is the perfect time for somebody to decide to pursue an MBA in sports management, because once, say, if they get into the course in 2021, you end the course in 2023, and that's exactly when we expect a boom in the market. So right place at the right time, I think.
Yes, absolutely. I think the COVID situation has been good for all those who were preparing this year, because most of you didn't have work. People, work from home was a very prevalent thing everywhere. Colleges were off, so a lot of students in their final year or pre-final had that opportunity of studying, preparing, and getting into so this is just probably the best time for anyone to be thinking of getting into any course, let not just sports management but any sort of MBA. And like Rudra said, that because in the next 2-3 years you're expecting a better situation for the sports thing, so then of course definitely uh, perfect timing, I guess. Then by 2023 you are out of college and then you are in a good place. So yeah, wonderful. That sounds very sensible and very interesting. What do you say, Bhagyashree? Any take on that?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Rudra has correctly mentioned that's what we see. In the next, when we joined college, it was in the next 5 years. It's going to be the big industry, and now we're just 3 years away from that. And definitely, there are a lot of new things coming up. Like from my personal experience, I think right now I'm working in a company, and you have the IPL going on, right? But there are so many companies around IPL who actually get who actually work on their company. So the company that I'm working for is under my team 11, and their entire work operations is majorly right now with respect to IPL 2020, because that's where the major source of income is coming, that's where generating the content. So there are every event that takes place, there are a lot of other companies that really generate content around that event, and they do their operations and they earn their income through that. So I think and likewise a lot of other companies are also coming up who want to do similar things. There's a lot of fan engagement happening, there are a lot of new things coming up, and it's growing in India. And I think especially right now with the entire COVID situation, people have understood the importance of sport and the importance of staying fit. So I think that's where the industry will really take a boom, and we will really be big in the next 3 years.
I think that you sound so correct when you say all of this, and that it makes a lot of sense for someone who's thinking of sports management to be getting in. This is absolutely there is that time which you call that the crux time. So this is, I think, probably that time when someone should be thinking of getting into a particular career, because it might be too late in a couple of years, but this is just the best time to be getting in, I think. Yeah, so that's very sensible and very correct. uh, Let me look for more questions. I think there were some more questions very quickly. All right. Okay, what is the future scope for sports managers? uh, so we've already spoken about that, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Okay, Suraj says, is it worth joining? Does it have any future growth? Suraj, we've already answered your question, I think. All right. Okay, so I think we are almost at the end of our session for the day. Guys, if you have any more questions, quickly shoot them to us so that I can ask my two very wonderful guests about that. Guys, would you also be telling us a little bit about the new pattern of SNAP? Are you aware of that? And would you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, we are aware of it. So the duration of the exam is 1 hour, and they give you an opportunity to attempt it twice. I think which is a wonderful change, because there is a very good chance that because of nervousness, you may not do really well in the first attempt. So they select the best of two. So the marks have reduced to 60, where 25 marks is given to verbal ability, 15 marks to logical reasoning, and 15 and another 20 marks to quant. So they've structured it very differently, and they're giving the students a chance to give another attempt. And I think it happens in the month of December, and the next attempt happens somewhere in January. So that's again a wonderful initiative by Symbiosis, to give us an opportunity like that. Besides that, just to add on to what we were discussing before, it's a pleasure to say this, because even though the pandemic took place, the sports industry, even though we are a very small industry, we were able to make all our students intern, even during the pandemic. Every single student interned at a different company, and even now, as we are sitting at home, there are plenty of students who are working. So the college has given us such opportunities, which I think we can only be grateful for, because they understood the fact that it can get really tough sitting at home, and they realized that if the student can manage his academics well and his assignments well, then there's no reason as to why we must stop them from getting various opportunities. So every alternate day, at least, we have some kind of opportunity that opens up for the students, where they get an opportunity in different fields, obviously work from home, but so they're handling various digital media platforms. They're creating so much of content for various organizations, and so it's been even though people would probably assume that a pandemic can hit this industry, and the sports and entertainment industry is an industry that is obviously hit, and a last preference will be given when it comes to opening up the industry too, because entertainment is not the first choice. But even though all of that has happened, we have been able to get in so many opportunities, which is a commendable effort by the institute.
That's truly commendable that your institute is working towards this. You guys are also working towards that. Okay, one more question that I suddenly thought of, and I just off the top of my head. uh, okay, what is the scene for final placements? Are you guys going through a process, or is it stalled? Because of course, with the COVID situation, there things are bad in a lot of places. How is the scene in your college? Is are things still moving?
Yes, everything has started, to be very honest with you, and even though the pandemic place, and it was probably the toughest time for an industry like ours, we were still able to place more than 80% of the batch in such a situation. Which was again which was a great job by the placement cell of the institute. And coming to the placements of 2021 also, we have begun the process where we are approaching companies, and to everyone's surprise, most of the companies are looking to hire people. So everyone would probably think that this is an industry that where there could be a lot of scrutiny, and people could lose jobs, but which is not the case. Bhagyashree and I, both of us, are a part of the placement cell of the institute too, and both of us, are working so hard in order to ensure that the entire batch is placed at companies that they want. So, even while we are approaching companies, and Bhagyashree, I think, would agree with me on this, we are getting fantastic responses from most number of companies, where they say that they need people. So once the norms come out from various governments, and the university also decides on when students can leave the institute, we are absolutely ready, for the process to go on very smoothly. So we are very, very confident. I wouldn't say we are nervous at all. If you asked me probably 3 months back, I would have said, I'm also doubtful. And that's what we at the placement cell also decided, that let's look at September. Let's wait for September to finish. we'll get a better understanding of how the situation is, and that's what we did. So recently we had a meeting, and we understood that everybody is showing interest in hiring students immediately. So once the university gives us permission, and the government also gives us whatever the regulations are, we are absolutely confident of placing the entire batch.
That's amazing. I liked your confidence when you said that everyone will get placed wherever they want to be. So that was the best thing. I think it was not that you're being beggars, but you're being choosers, and that is the most important thing. If even in this time of this horrible coronavirus pandemic, you guys can still have the confidence and say that okay, we are going to choose where we want to work and pick a job from there, then I think you've got it bad, guys. You are like doing something right. So that makes me feel very happy and very excited. I'm hoping that all of your entire batch will get placed, and you will send me lots of mithai and something.
We will surely.
By the way, how many people are there in a batch? Let me just ask.
We have
So,
70 students in a batch. Yes, Bhagishri, please.
Yeah, so we have 70 students in our batch. That's
So it's close to approximately 150 students at campus every year when you add the junior and senior batch.
But that's a good batch, and 70 also, if you're planning to place all of them, then I'm sure it is a lot of effort on the end of the you guys placement team has to work very very hard. But yeah, great job. I think you guys will manage with your confidence and talent and hard work, and of course God's blessings. I'm sure you guys will also do wonderfully well, not just in campus but also elsewhere and wherever you go in life. um, I think we will also wrap the session up because we are through with all the questions. I don't think there are any more audience questions. I am also done. I'm also feeling a little tired now. So we'll stop now. One quick word from Rudra, you, and one quick word from you, Bhagishri. Whatever you want to tell us, tell our students, all those who are preparing right now, anything that you want to share with them.
Firstly, I would like to thank you and Unacademy for having us, because this is such a beautiful platform to express ourselves, and to make students aware of the opportunities available. Sitting from home, we are able to talk to an audience and give them a brief of how you can choose various courses even in an MBA. So kudos to your entire team for that, and to the aspirants. You know. I think just concentrate on your communication skills. Understand the industry better. Don't look at coming in to play sports, because the college is so beautiful where you get attracted to only wanting to play. But come in with the idea that you want to be a sports manager 2 years after your course. And once the institute only looks at good attitude and a good personality. So if you can have both of that, do well in your snap, concentrate on your strengths, and there's no reason as to why you wouldn't be a part of this institution. Thank you very much for having us.
Bhagishri?
Yeah. Firstly, ma'am, even I'd like to thank Unacademy and you too for having us, and really being able to share. Honestly, me as an aspirant would have loved something like this when I was wanting to take decide what I wanted to do, and choose a career and make choose a college and make a career eventually. So thanks to you all for organizing this, and to all the aspirants. I think. My advice to you would be to not be nervous. To it's normal. It's okay to to overthink, to be nervous, to think that you probably will not get the college that you want. But ultimately, it's all the hard work that pays off, and you land up where you are meant to be. So just be confident, and just give it your all, and you will land up where you want to be eventually.
Thank you, Rudra. Thank you, Bhagishri. You have been such wonderful advisors, I will say, to all my students out there. You have told us everything about your course, about your admission process, about your placements, about the institute, your faculty, everything. And now I think most of us have gone from not knowing anything about an MBA in sports management to knowing quite a bit about this thing. So I think this was a very, very useful session. We've had some questions from the audience. I'm sure there will be many, many more questions that will come by, and people will keep asking, and we will send more questions to you. Maybe when you have time, you can answer them. So thank you so much for being so wonderful and answering all our questions so patiently. And guys, thank you so much for joining us today. You've been a wonderful audience. All those questions that you shot at us, I hope we were able to answer them. Join us again for yet another episode of Ask Me Anything. We will send out the notifications as soon as we decide what's the next college going to be. This is me, Abhilasha, your favorite VRC mentor, signing off. You know that I am still sick, so I may not be live with you for the Hindu for another week. But beyond that, we will meet again. See you. Adios, everybody.